Let's bring in Kayleigh McEnany, spokesperson for the Republican National Committee after a big Tuesday night. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's start with the Trump effect, as it's being affectionately called or termed. How is it working? And will it work in November?
It will. You know, each and every Tuesday, we see the Trump effect playing out. We see crystal clear indicators that if you support the president, you are more likely to prevail. We saw that with Jeff Johnson last night, upsetting Tim Pawlenty. Pawlenty had a 7 times fundraising advantage. The Democrats were so certain that he would be the nominee that they had literally spent millions already trashing Tim Pawlenty with negative attack ads. But Jeff Johnson won. He won because he supported the president. Same with Chris Kobach. He won because of a Trump endorsement, unseating an incumbent governor. Very difficult to do. 91% of incumbent governors get renomination. Not in the case of Chris Kobach and Collier.
Well, and for Tim Pawlenty, a former presidential candidate, when I lived in Minneapolis and covered politics in that city and state, he was an up-and-coming rising star. What is changing right now? Are politics no longer local? Does this president have the clout, the mojo, the power to take what we've always known about local politics and flip it?
No doubt. He has unparalleled support among our party. We see that in every single poll. And to give you an idea, Harris, I think this is really interesting of how the RNC works with the president to mobilize his support. Last week's Ohio race for Troy Balderson, we noticed at the RNC that Balderson was only ahead by about 176 absentee votes in the key Delaware County. We told the White House, we told the president, we told the campaign. Campaign says, OK, we'll send the president there, sent the president to Delaware County. In the end, after that rally, Balderson was ahead by 5,000 votes. This is the kind of support that this president has.
So let's look on the other side of the political aisle, where they had some wins last night as well. And looking forward, you and I have talked about the intensity on the left side of the aisle. What do you see going down the pike? I mean, this president has promised 6-7 days on the campaign trail. Can he really do that? And what does that do for the Democrats?
What it does for us and what it does to Democrats is it increases Republican turnout. Last night, we saw 77% increase in Republican turnout over 2016 in Minnesota and in Wisconsin. Wisconsin, of course, was a state Republicans hadn't won since 1980. This president won it. He came within almost a percentage point of winning Minnesota. He mobilizes turnouts. He gets Republican voters to the polls, and we will be using him all throughout the election for that purpose.
All right. No doubt you're seeing that there is a progressive lean. And actually, this lean has been going on since before Hillary Clinton even ran for the presidency. She just didn't see it. It's why the Rust Belt became such a problem for her, because she wasn't tuned into the economics that were driving it. So as you go forward, what do you see about the Democrat Party that you look across the aisle and you say, yeah, that's a division that we can do what with?
Yes, we see a big division. You have establishment candidates winning in some of these races, but in other parts, and I think the stronger tide in the Democratic Party is socialism. Last night was a great night for socialists, and the reason I say that is you look across at the races won by these so-called progressive candidates. They all support single payer. They all support free college. They all support government-mandated wage. What they won't say is I'm a socialist, but they will support socialist precepts. So our job at the Republican National Committee is to say, no, you're not a progressive. You are a socialist. Socialism does not work, and we are here to expose that.
All right, let's talk about some of the risks going forward now as well, because we know that when a president or anybody steps into a race, whether he does it early or late, that is a certain type of candidate. The president has said he wants his type of Republicans to go forth. Those are not necessarily people with the establishment. So can they and how can they win in certain areas in November where maybe establishment candidates might be the best answer?
Well, the president has an excellent record when it comes to general elections even. You look at these special elections. He tweeted this morning, 8 out of the 9 special elections for the House, Republicans have won. So the candidates being nominated are winning. We have a track record of them winning. But how they win, how we get conservatives, true conservatives, to cross the finish line is mobilizing that support. This is all about turnout, Harris, all about it. And this president can mobilize Republican voters.
Kayleigh, let's talk about money for a second. You know, the president has called the former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, the secret weapon for Republicans. Even though she can raise a boatload of money, her policies are not even embraced by up to like 50 Democrats now. They're saying they're going to do the walk away from her. But money is an issue. And how are you doing in terms of fundraising? Because you know the Democrats are going to bring in a haul.
Well, I can tell you this, with President Trump and Chairwoman McDaniel, the RNC's never been stronger. We have a 5 times fundraising advantage over the DNC. When you account for their $7 million in debt, it's more like a 20-time advantage over the DNC. So we are killing it in fundraising and in small donations in particular. This president, people forget, he got more small donations than Bernie and then Hillary combined and more than Obama did the second time around. So more voters coming to our party, giving in small amounts is a clear indicator of enthusiasm at the blue-collar level, the middle-class level, and that is what this election is about.
Well, and that's such a good point, because what we learned from the first term of Barack Obama as president is that those smaller bites at the apple meant more people went to the polls because they were more invested with smaller amounts of money. The DCCC, though, is the one that's saying that it's raising so much money.
Well, you also have to account for debt. And when you account for that, the NRCC is just about keeping pace with them, if not even outpacing them. When you aggregate everything together, Republicans are doing quite well. We know how to save our money. We know how to spend it. And that's why we're solvent at the RNC and the NRCC.
Real quickly, before I let you go, Kobach in Kansas slid in. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Kobach slid in, and he did it with the endorsement of the president. Nearly every poll had him losing to the incumbent. He won because of that endorsement, and endorsement means everything these days.
All right, Governor of Kansas up for grabs there. And Kayleigh McEnany, I wanted to talk some about the numbers because we're starting to get them. It's 83 days until the midterm elections today. Great to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you, too.